I think one of the greatest fears that a lot of pastors who are conservative and minority in evangelicalism have a problem with is when younger guys like us want to step up and start addressing the systemic issues, because it's like, yo, you're biting the hand that feeds you. It's like, yo, no, the hand that feeds me is the Father himself. So like where I got my education, I love my schools. I have no shade towards my schools, but it's the reality that like my schools are not in my neighborhood, right? So it's like, man, how can we now engage and bridge those worlds without tearing one down, but challenging specifically our Anglo pastors and leaders, man, of the culture, like speak out, speak up, like they'll quote letters from a Birmingham jail because that was back then. That's not now. And so what we're trying to say is there's a principle the King was on that a lot of leaders didn't get in his day, that you can actually pick the baton up, man, and run with us. So that's why I praise God for like Al Mohler. Al Mohler's been killing it on social media, man, like expressing things, speaking to cultural issues. One thing he said in one of his books, I think it was Culture Shift, and it rocked me, man, that he was like, he sat back and assessed his life, and he was like, when it comes to all my black friends, I never entered their world. They always had to enter my world. And I'm like, did y'all understand the admission of what Mohler just said? Yeah. I'm like, to me, that was a ray of hope, man. I was like, yo, he's wrestling with this. Like, that infused my heart. When my wife read that and she read it to me, I'm like, that infused my heart, man. So like I texted Dr. Mohler and was like, yo, man, I just wrote this piece on the 60th anniversary of Emmett Till's death. If you read it, man, I pray it blesses you. He read it and he tweeted out the thing. And I was like, bro, you have no idea like what that means to have someone of your stature, your intellect, your voice inside the SBC, and to say like, man, this young man wrote a piece on Emmett Till and a gospel perspective, because we're speaking the gospel to a tragedy such as Emmett Till, so that our generation won't forget what happened to him, right? And so the reality